Okay, hi everyone. Welcome on the Head of Sales Diary podcast. And today we have Jan, and we're going to speak about a very important for me personally topic because I'm a hiring manager and it's like a real problem to find the right A players to your team. So today we're going to speak about how to spot A players before the interview ends. And hi, Jan.
Hi, Irina.
Before you meet Jan in person, some facts about him. So first, why is Jan competent about talking about this question? He's the founder of SalesWorx, and the guys are helping companies hire the best A players and salespeople. Is it like Belgium and the Netherlands or globally?
Yeah, Belgium and the Netherlands.
And the Netherlands.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's already difficult enough
I see. Okay.
to find them.
So he truly believes that the best salespeople don't wait for leads, they create opportunities. He says that CVs often mislead the traditional hiring. So like that the CVs are not always good enough for hiring the best A players, and CVs don't say about anything about getting the right people on board. And he promotes structured testing, which I have done personally. That's why it's like very exciting to before or during the interview to identify the A players. Is that correct? Or you want to add something?
No, it's absolutely correct. Yeah.
Okay, that's great. Then thank you for being here today. And
Thank you, Irina.
yeah.
Pleasure.
And the first question would be like, you have an extensive and amazing sales experience. Why did you decide to go, to establishing your own company? That's maybe clear. But basically, why did you decide to hire to help companies find salespeople for their teams?
Yeah, interesting. Good question. Now, just to specify that a bit, I've had my own company since 2007, so I have a very long track record in doing business. And as an entrepreneur, in the first place, you're a salesperson. I think you agree. But back in, I think it was in 2022, I started giving sales trainings to companies, mainly in the B2C field. And then a lot of them started asking the question, yes, sales training is good, but we more need like good salespeople. And this is a problem. And I was a bit surprised that I had so many questions. So I started looking into this. What's going on? Why is it so difficult to find salespeople? And then I started looking into methods, studying the whole subject, and we came up with a system to attract them and identify which one could be potentially an A player indeed. Yeah, that's how it all started rolling.
And already based on your experience, can you maybe in a couple of words or just very simply tell us what identifies an A player from an average salesperson?
It's very simple, and you described it very well. In what we see, an A player is someone who takes like full responsibility of his own results, his own pipeline, and what he gets in the end, regardless of the markets or other circumstances. He takes responsibility, he takes actions to be responsible for her or his own resulls. That's that's
So
it.
it's like responsibility
basically.
first.
Yes.
How can you see this responsibility during an interview? Normally, when you ask people, like, are you responsible? For sure, they will say, yes, I'm very responsible. I'm very independent. I'm very accountable.
Of course.
You know, sometimes maybe what are the not obvious factors which help you to see this kind of people?
It's about the questions you ask, but we come to that later. Because later on, I'm sure we'll talk about it, what questions to ask. But you always have to listen as a hiring manager. You have to listen for the results, what people have done. And listen for that responsibility they take, for the actions they have taken. Because it's something, They will say very often, yes, I take responsibility. I will make the calls. Of course, I will do it. But you have to ask for the action. What have they done in the past? You have to look at that. Because what someone has done in the past will predict mainly what they will do in the future. So you really have to ask, okay, what were the results you got there? What did you do? How many visits did you take? How did you build up your pipeline? Or Irina, a subject you're very well aware of. How did you build outreach in your market? How did you do that? Tell me about it.
And like in terms of, I don't know, maybe communication, like, you know, non-verbal signs or anything, is there like some things which are, for example, the red flags for you? And you say like, oh, when a person is, I don't know, well, an obvious one is late for an interview. Yes, this is for me, it's like a red flag. I don't know, maybe it's not for you, but something you would say like it's a no-go.
Red flag, oh, you have to be careful with red flags in the beginning, but I will talk about it also later because we have a whole system of scoring on different attitudes and skills. So if you have to be careful with the skill, being late, not necessarily red flag, depends. What is for me a very red flag, and I think you agree, and you once told me a story also about a candidate that called to you, is being completely unprepared. You come.
Yes.
That is really a red flag.
Yeah.
And
So like when a person is not prepared, you're not
Yeah.
going to have a discussion further. No.
mostly not. There are other red flags, but also red flag or not necessarily. But one of the first questions I ask now on the phone is, what's because if someone is applying for a job, mainly because it's someone wants something, he wants something better, he wants to move on in his career. And normally, if it's a very good salesperson, he wants to grow in his career, he wants to take the next step, or he wants to have more impact, or he wants to go to a bigger company. He needs a challenge, you see. That's what great C's people want in general. Huh? So one of the first questions I ask, what are your expectations? What do you want from a new sales job? Then you have to listen very carefully. And honestly, I have to tell you, 8 upon 10 already fail there.
Really?
Yes.
Okay. So
Because if
they're
they
just
talk,
like window shopping, you know, or what?
yeah, or they tell, oh, I want nicer colleagues, or I want closer to home, or I want to have more fun at work. That's, oh, I see, yeah. Burning brides. But we're not in sales to change the world, are we, Irina?
Oh, no, we're not. Okay. In one of your posts, you have said that like personal traits like resilience, being initiative, and adaptability are the signs of the top performance. Which of these are the hardest to find? I think you cannot find maybe all the three in one.
I don't know if it's very specific for the Belgian market. Maybe you might have other views. But in Belgium, for me, it's really the take initiative. And I give you an example. If I write a vacancy, or you have seen it probably when I write on LinkedIn, I always have this little sentence in the end. Why just not give me a call?
Okay.
How many out of 10 do you think call?
Oh my God. Like, well, a wild guess, 2.
Not even.
0?
It's hardly 1 in 10 that
Oh
just
my
calls.
God.
And I think what's a gift, there is my phone number. You
You
can
can stand
call.
out already.
It's like so easy. If you have a prospect, if example, you have a prospect that, oh, call me. Call me is my number. You have a example as you have a purchase officer, a procurement officer. Oh, here's my phone number. You can call me. Imagine as a salesperson what that would be.
So
Even if you
why
write
is
it,
that? Why is that? Like, why is Belgium lacking initiative?
I don't know if it's Belgian because I've not done any research, but in Holland it's a bit different. They're a bit more proactively, culturally, is the difference. But it's something I discussed it with you a while ago, and I think many people came into sales because maybe not for the right reasons. They went into there because they said, oh, yeah, maybe we should try sales. And I think that went more or less well for a long while. Huh? Even during COVID, in some sectors I was in, there was so much sales. You could send your grandma to sell something because people were already happy someone was coming. But you feel times have changed
Yeah, that's true.
very dramatically now,
Yeah.
and markets, I would say, more difficult, but you have to do much more effort, and especially now with AI, people gonna look on AI, what's happening. So you need a whole different approach, and I think, yeah, the sales where marketing is giving you the leads, and there's a call center has already booked the meeting. These days are over.
Lazy. Yeah. Yeah.
Lazy,
Yeah.
lazy.
I truly believe that, well, I may be wrong, and maybe people will not agree with me, but I think that when salespeople say that they cannot hit their targets, I think it's not only about the tough market, it's mostly about being lazy. Because, like, well, yeah, you have to be very proactive, to find the leads, it's,
Yes.
yeah.
Or how many salespeople do you know that post, like, let's just say once a month on LinkedIn or go out there? How many do you know?
Well, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a very small
Yeah.
percentage. It's already there, you see.
Yeah, that's true. The next question is like actually very fun, and it's very fun. And I will tell like a little bit of a story. So like when we met Jan, and they rolled out this kind of a new way to score salespeople, and you will tell us like in a moment what you do. It's like an amazing test, and one of the traits, and you have also written about this, the top performance always lack this kind of a trait. And when I was doing this test, the most like underdeveloped skill, like the one which was developed at like, I don't know, maybe 0% or something, was, what was it?
Diplomacy.
Diplomacy. Yes, I know. I'm not like saying that it's great, but this is something I lack. I know. And you said that top sellers aren't always the most diplomatic.
No.
No. Okay. So should they have, and it's like, well, it's a little bit scary for a sales leader to hire people who are sharp, who are asking challenging questions, who are not afraid to raise their voice and everything. How do you think, like, should the head of sales embrace rough talents, like rough edges and everything?
Yes, absolutely. Because you have to understand it in such a way. If you look at non-diplomacy not extremely high, what it means in general is that the salesperson is not only a relationship builder or a pleaser. Because you cannot be afraid at some point to blow up the relationship because you want to move on with the deal. And sometimes you have to also say no. This you have to take the risk. You have to be a risk taker, and that could involve risking the relationship if you want to go for the close and the deal. And if you want to be too diplomatic, you're too afraid of risking the relationship, and then you have a CRM, and you know that, Irena, a CRM with lots of hanging deals.
Yeah.
And it's very nice. Oh, it was a very good meeting. Yes, we're very enthusiastic, and nothing happens.
Yeah.
You see? But they're very good friends.
Yeah. Well, you have to be very sharp. That's true. You have to be.
At some point, but sharp, I mean, you have to risk, like, you have to challenge people. At some point, you say, okay, it's time to move on.
And yeah, that's
Or
what it's
not.
like. Salesperson is sometimes like, an entrepreneur. So you have to have this entrepreneurial.
Exactly. Yeah. And as a sales leader, I would say yes, because you want people that challenge you also as a sales leader, because how do you want to move on?
That's
So
true.
as a sales leader, you have to be very diplomatic.
No, we're gonna speak about this during our coffees or something.
Yeah.
So you often say that CVs are outdated. Still,
Yes.
every job announcement, even when I'm looking for a person, I still ask for a CV because, like, you have to, when you have 200 candidates or so, you have to pre-screen them somehow. So what do we do?
Yeah.
If CVs are outdated, What is the way around?
In the form they use it outdated because I have a nuanced answer on it. Yes, because mainly the skills you're looking for in a salesperson are all soft skills. And you wrote yesterday, example, a great post about listening skills. We don't
Yes.
look for another vendor. We look for someone who gets it. And it's exactly that what clients are looking for. Someone who can look in their head. And you need great listening skills. Active listening skills, it's a soft skill. You can, but you can learn it in a big way. But you can not see that on a CV. You cannot see based on someone's career, what has he done? He can be an account manager somewhere for 5 years, but what was the context? Was he like a lazy person who always just made his targets and got the leads and the appointments were set for him? Or did he have to go actively out there? So the CV doesn't tell you about the quality of the work. So it's a very bad, of course, according to studies also, it's a very bad predictor. But of course, it's interesting to see the choices someone made in his career. So it tells something, of course. What choices did you make? Why did you make it? And you can talk about it. But my advice for salespeople, what you almost never see, and in that sense, a CV would be more interesting. And some people do it, and they are the ones that you notice immediately if you tell more about the results of your work at the company. For example, if you would tell, when I was at LexisNexis, I made the team grow with 8 players and we grow the business with 25% a year and the margin. See, that's what someone wants to see, the results. And I hardly see it ever on a CV. What was the result of the work you did at company A, X, or I, or Z? Then, of course, the question is, and it's a very valid question, okay, but if CV looks like a safe choice, but it's not, because it's a very bad predictor. Because we have, thanks to AI and the testing like you did, we have much better solutions that are also very open to everyone. So you can say, look, we have an open test here. We're going to do the test, and we're going to test like a little cognitive skill. We can personality, but we will talk about it in the next question. We can talk about your trying to find out what motivates you in work. And nowadays with AI, you can also do like a small AI interview, even that could test you on 4 to 5 core skills that are really important on the job.
What do you mean by AI interview? Can you like elaborate?
Yeah, well, you have AI agents that are perfectly capable of taking an interview with you via telephone.
Oh, really? So you're using it like right now?
In a test phase. It's the test you have done. They also have now these AI agents that can do that and test on like 4 to 5 core skills that are really, really important for the job that you cannot go without.
But what would be the perception of a candidate? Sorry, it's kind of something not ordinary when an AI agent is calling you. Do you think that it will not scare the, top players away or no?
Quite on the contrary.
Oh, really?
Yes, because ask a top player if he wants to know how he stands out, and he will do it immediately. Because he wants to be the best. And in my opinion, if he's not like, if he scores an 8, and the maximum is 10, he will ask, can I do the test again? Because I want a 10.
Okay, who wants to be a 10?
Or he's like, oh, someone did more than I had. Someone once he said like, oh, someone was better than I. No, cannot be. Who was that? Huh?
Yeah, that's true.
That's the A players. So no, it doesn't scare them. It scares the non-A players, in my opinion. Those that think, oh, have to make an effort, the lazy ones. Why it's only 20, it's 20, 25 minutes, a test like that. And the ones that are not motivated, oh, here we have to do a test. Oh, let's find something more easy. So from the 100, 15, 20 will be left. And in general, it's the good ones, in my experience.
Well, actually, the test is really great because I don't think that I don't know why people are afraid of it, because it's not like testing your level of English or, like asking you to
We
close a
can,
deal.
but we can also now.
Yeah. Oh, really?
Yes,
Okay. I need to
it's
pass.
also new.
Okay.
Yeah, that's
So
also
it's
new.
having three key factors. The first one, it's checking the motivation, the personality, and the cognitive skills. Is that correct?
Yes. Yeah.
Which of these three is like most predictive of long-term sales success? Like what is like
Well,
the key one of this?
it's, I would say two.
Oh,
But most important is motivation, from what I see,
okay.
which is normal. Because if you have to do the work of a salesperson, it's hard work, but also nice work. But if you are not motivated to do the work and to do the task that you need to do on a daily basis as a salesperson, which is like the case for every other job also, it will never last very long. For example, if you have a sales role that requires very high active outreach, cold prospecting, if you have someone who's not motivated by really meeting new people, making new contacts, who gets a kick of a new contact, of a new lead, of a new deal, if that doesn't motivate you, it's never going to last very long. So that's very important. And apart from that also, but that's also in general in research from kind of every job, depends a bit on the level of complexity of the sales. Cognitive skill is also a high predictor of job
Cognitive is the
success.
third one, which is like the logic test.
Yeah. And it tests more like your capacity to learn, to adapt and to learn new skill, to deal with new info, to deal with complex situations. And it makes sense that it's normal that you have to be a quick learner. A lot of more complex and certainly these days, because sales changes so quickly and market changes so quickly, so you have to learn very quick and be creative with solutions. But that's in general for a lot of jobs. Cognitive ability and ability to learn is a high predictor.
Okay, so let's like sum up what we have at the moment. So first, what identifies the A player is the responsibility, motivation, ability to learn fast, like adaptability and ability to learn fast. Anything else which, well, we will now move to the questions you asked during an interview, but maybe something else you would add in here.
I would add, and you said it already, in general, the best salespeople these days are entrepreneurs. They have a very entrepreneurial spirit. Yeah. And they're not looking for too much stability. That's also something I see. Which means that they're not afraid to take risks. Because the sales environment can be very volatile.
You know, recently, like a couple of, I don't know, months ago, I read a post from a very, like, I don't remember his name. Who was it exactly? But some sales leader, sales contributor on LinkedIn. He posted that you should hire as a salesperson somebody who had his startup or his own business before. And there are like two tricky things. I first understand that it's like, yeah, it's entrepreneurial spirit, it's great, but it's like we say it's the wolf who will always look into the forest, you know? So if a person is an entrepreneur, he may consider a sales job as an intermediary, you know, and he will be still willing to have his own startup or something.
Yeah, but why not? Yeah. Because the average tenure of an account manager, for example, do you know how much it is worldwide?
I don't know, no? 2 years?
Hardly 2 years.
Hardly 2 years, yeah.
So just imagine you have someone, and I see that someone who had a startup or was doing business already. I would always consider it very positive. And I think that's also very typically Belgian, that we look at it, oh, he tried something and he failed, and we see it as a failure, and it's so wrong because it's someone who took initiative, and you cannot always win, you lose. But in the United States, they would look at this very differently. And also in Holland, they would look at this very differently. So if someone had this entrepreneurial spirit and he comes into your company and he does the sales like it's his own business, that's the spirit you want. You want someone take it responsibility like it's his own business. Huh?
Yeah, that's true.
And he does that for 5 years and he brings great success to your company and a lot of deals. And after 5 years, he'd say, okay, I learned a lot now. And as very good friends, now I gonna move on and do my own thing. What's the problem? I don't see it.
Okay, so now we ended up with an interview. So the person is already here. We have pre-screened
Yes.
him. What questions do we ask?
Yeah, different. It can be different depending on the role. Huh?
Well, let's say
First
for
thing,
sales executive, or you wanted to,
yeah. First thing you do, and that's something also I almost never see if you have a job, for example, for a sales executive or a business developer, you have to first exactly as a sales leader there, you have to take the responsibility, I think, as a sales leader to describe exactly what you want, that person, the outcome you want, the results you want. Because it's first you have to define the outcome. And then you have to look at, okay, what is this person going to need in terms of skills? Yeah? What personality or attitude am I looking for? And then you have to look at like the 4, 5 top skills that you want. And in actual sales executives, if it's someone who's responsible, I strongly believe they should be responsible for their own building up their own pipeline and their own success. One first question is just very simple to ask, like, can you give me an example where you started in a company where there was no prospecting list lists and they gave you a region and you had to conquer the market and you needed, like, for example, 10 new companies on board in the first year. Can you give me an example of that? Just that. Not asking how do you did it, what were the results, how did you, just simple ask the example, plain and simple. And then in advance, you have to define what's a good answer and what's a very bad answer. You have to know that in advance so that you can listen for what's good and what is not good. That's, for example, a very simple question you ask. Another very interesting question is, tell me about a big deal you lost recently.
Do people speak about this?
Yes, and the way they speak about it will tell you a lot.
Like, do they blame the customer? Do they blame the process? Or do they blame themselves?
Hopefully not. Hopefully they blame themselves.
Yeah, that's
They
true.
said, I lost it, and damn, I missed it. And then if they are very good, but then in the next deal, I prevented this by doing this and this and that, or I could reactivate the deal later, things like that. Something I heard, for example, a few weeks ago from a guy who said, but the next year I knew, and then via another director, I could reactivate the deal. And okay, good. Yeah, that's what you want to hear.
So the questions we ask, they have to be about the real cases and the real experience the person had.
Always about the past.
Always
about the past. What did someone do in the past? And not hypothetical. Not because that's what happens very often. How they will ask you something like, how would you go to the market? How would you build up an outreach? And then people can come with beautiful theories.
Okay.
If you ask me, for example, how would you do marketing?
You can say beautiful.
Come with a beautiful story.
But if you have never done
I've read a lot of marketing books, but I've never done it. I would fail, but I could really completely
That's true.
trick a hiring manager if he's not very
Smart.
He's not careful and he doesn't really look for concrete results of things you did. See? And very often salespeople do that. They come with beautiful stories, and we very often make the mistake of thinking, oh, he or she could sell herself very well in the interview, so it must be good. it's all very well prepared, but is it real?
Okay.
And that's something I hear very often. Oh, yesterday still I hear that, oh, during the interview, it sounded so good and it was so great and everything. And oh, 1 month later, we noticed like, skills were not there and it had never been done, you see.
So, speaking about the mistakes, what is the most common hiring mistakes companies make when they look for the candidates?
Well, exactly that's what I describe. And wanting to play it safe. Because it sounds safe, or it seems safe to hire someone who has, for example, 5 years experience as an account manager in your industry or on your level, or in your service industry or another industry or something more or less common. And that feels safe for a hiring manager, especially if it's a company that they think, oh yeah, it's not a small company, so yeah, he's been there 5 years or she, so yeah, must be good.
Yeah, I've done it before as well. I know. It's
You
like
can
the
be
feeling,
lucky.
but you think that if a person has this experience, he will succeed in
Yeah.
another role. You're ready to close
Yeah.
your eyes.
Yes,
Yeah.
and you have to always test it.
Okay.
So you have to always test for the skills that you want. You have to test them.
The question I have not planned. So about the
Oh,
switchers, So I feel, and I'm like a true believer, and I'm a switcher 3 times as well. Sometimes, like people are stuck in their current role, and then they are ready to do a switch, but they are not. For example, I don't know, a person was working in marketing, and then he wants to go to sales. So basically, he doesn't have a sales background. How can we then spot that he is the fit for the role? He can grow, he can develop the ability to learn, that's clear, but maybe
yeah.
something else, to take this kind of a risk.
Especially, yeah, the attitude he has, huh? And the proactive attitude he has. That's the thing to test if someone is going to a sales role from a marketing role. Yeah, it could be. But then motivation will play. What motivates you to go into sales? What is it? Why do you want to do it? Is it because you have a car and in marketing you don't? That's not a
Make
good
it work.
motivation. Uh, and you think you're gonna have more money, or is it really because it thrills you, the sales? Are you thrilled by this constant, yeah, how you call it, this I think it's like when in soccer you're like a
Yeah.
goal scorer, and you're only as good as your last goal. You have to, and a sales has to be able to live with that and enjoy that. Like, okay, I'm gonna do it again.
Yeah, that's true.
I scored a hat trick, but I want to do it again next week. You see,
So if you choose soft skills or hard skills, would it be would it
what do
be
you think?
well, I'm sure that you will. I think, I cannot say I'm sure, I'm diplomatic. So I think you would select soft skills
Yes, of course,
always.
of
First.
course. But there's a wrong idea about soft skills because soft skills are very hard.
Yeah, that's true. It's very hard to develop them, honestly.
Yes, like problem solving capacity, ability to learn, creativity, active listening. Is it a hard skill or a soft skill? For me, it's regarded as a soft skill, but something you can really learn. Empathy in the sense like, are you someone, a vendor that can get it?
Yeah.
Very important. Motivation, attitude, yeah. But of course, you need certain hard skills. But for example, let's say, I think tools like you lose, like Lemlist, LinkedIn Sales Navigator, it's not rocket science to teach someone that, I
No,
think.
no. Yeah.
And if someone is motivated and he has all the right soft skills, he's gonna enjoy this, like when you told me, I was
Yeah.
absolutely, wow, this makes my life so much easier. And
Yeah.
you learn it in like a week, you
Yeah.
see?
It's not hard to do it. Yeah. Well,
No.
I have the same idea. I also think that soft skills are much more important than hard skills. You can develop hard skills, but the soft skills are almost impossible to grow. So if you're like the wrong
Yeah.
personality, then you are just the wrong personality.
Yeah. And that's something that always astonishes me, or I'm very surprised always to hear that. But it's again, I think it's because people are want to avoid risk. What I very often hear from candidates, and I'm sure you heard it as well, Irina, because your CV is also not like a very traditional salesperson, if I can say so.
Yeah.
So if I would be a very traditional hiring manager, I might put it away like, wow, teacher.
Yeah. Well, the background, yeah. It's like it matters.
Why is a teacher going to do sales?
Oh, it was more than 20 years ago. Yeah.
Yeah. But still, maybe 20 years ago, they might have said it like, wow, yeah. Huh? If you had to start. But I would say industry experience is very often hugely overrated.
Overrated. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. Because,
Okay. Yeah. Well,
yeah,
it doesn't tell you about
what you
your
do.
ability to sell, right?
Yeah, and to understand people's business and the outcomes and the emotional feelings that are behind that. Huh?
Yeah,
That's what you
that's
need to be
true.
able to understand. So soft skills.
Soft skills. So the last question, and it would be your one bold prediction. How will hiring and evaluating salespeople look like in 5 years?
It's going to be taken over by AI.
You're sure? Okay.
Yes.
Do the HR managers have to be afraid of losing their jobs?
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
A lot of them, yes.
So everything comes into the hands of AI.
The basic things like interviewing, making the judgment, AI will do a better job if you do it well. But the role of a good HR should be much more strategic. How am I going to make sure, because we didn't talk about that, maybe the most important thing of all, as a company, the question you will have to ask, what am I going to do as a company to create a culture where sales talent can thrive? That is like the big challenge. And that should be the role of HR, not only in sales, but in marketing, all the strategic roles. How are we going to make sure that we're going to attract these people?
Yeah, that's true. Thank you very much, Jan, for the exciting conversation as always.
Thank you.
Yeah, I think that we will make another round of a podcast sometime later. Thanks again, everybody who's interested in this systematic approach to hiring people. You're welcome to Ping Jan and to subscribe for the podcast and not to miss the exciting stories of sales leaders.
Thank you, Nina.